Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and no, you are not losing it. My voice is not matching up with my lips because I completely forgot to film an intro and honestly an outro to this video. Oh my goodness. But this is going to be a makeup tutorial, a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial. I don't know, the last time I just did a straight-up walkthrough makeup tutorial, so I'm super excited. We can get ready together, and I'm showing off the new Lunar Beauty 12 Days of Lunar palette. I did an unboxing and reaction to the advent calendar and swatches and a tutorial and review all in one. It was a really long video, but it'll be linked up above. Without further ado, let's jump into this old school makeup tutorial. Let's get started into this eye look. This is, again, the Lunar Beauty 12 Days of Lunar palette. I did not organize mine. I just have them still in the order that I unboxed them. There are no shade names, so I will be holding the palette up to show you which colors I'm going to be using. But for my base, I'm going to be starting with this almost like a caramely brown color just to get that up in the crease, and I think we may play a little into, maybe add a little bit of this reddish brown, maybe a little bit of the purple, but you know me, I'm dying to get into this green and this green shimmer, so that is my priority for today. This brush looks dirty, but if you have like a color swatch, I think that's what these are called, it just basically gets rid of all the loose pigment, so then, you know, you can swirl your brush around on your hand and the pigment's not there, so it's not transferring colors even though it looks dirty. Anyway, mine is JCat Beauty, and I think I got it on Amazon for like $4. This was years ago though, so I don't know if it's still there. Mine's starting to fall apart, so I kind of need to order a new one. But I'm just going to start. I always start with dabbing to build the color up, and then I like to focus on blending out. So I'm holding the brush pretty far back. And right now I'm just focusing where I want it to be the darkest, which is the outer corner and close to my lash line. And then I'm also going to start working on building the shape. So kind of like, how far do I want this to come in? Normally I do close to halfway, and I kind of have an angle down. So it'll be closer to the, closer to the lash line in the center, and then built out more. So like we're kind of doing like this angular shape, like a very, very soft cat eye effect is normally what I end up going for because it's what I like on my eye shape. So now I'm kind of building that up, as you can see, and then very lightly, with hardly any pressure, I'm going to start blending. So I just swiped off my brush, and then whatever is left, I did a little swipe so there's not as much pigment, and whatever is left, I'm kind of going to massage into the inner corner. And because I always forget to say, but I always use the ABH eye primer. I just have been enjoying it since it came out. I don't know of any dupes because I feel like I've been so detached from the makeup world the last couple of years. But once you get your first layer of shadow on here, because it is a little tacky of a base, then once you get the first layer on, it blends really flawlessly. So this is kind of how we can build like a light brown here in the inner corner where we don't want things to be too dark, by getting rid of that color, by depositing most of it in those spaces where we want it darker, and you could just work on diffusing things together. That was the word I was looking for. So I'm probably going to go ahead and build this up with another layer of the brown, and then I think I might try the red color. Now I'm going to go in with this reddish brown very, very lightly because I don't want it to be too red since we're working with the green. So tap a lot of that extra off. And I just kind of want to have like a different colored hue under this. This is also deepening up the outer corner. So it's not super red, which is nice. So that means that I may dare add some of the purple. So I just wanted a little hint of that. And now I'm going to go in with the purple shade in the palette and see what we do here. Especially when working with new colors and a new palette, I tap off almost all of the color because I just don't know how it's going to react, and you can always build up, but you can't take away eyeshadow. My soul almost left my body for a second because I thought this wasn't recording. So this is kind of giving me like that hue of color, like just a slight little like geek. So I think that's going to be pretty good for the outer corner. And now we're gonna get into the green color, which I'm super stoked about. And I cleaned this brush off, but I was working with green shadows on this brush anyway. So here is the green. I was so excited. If you saw my reveal video, which by the way, I know it was super long, but it's like not every day that you are unboxing an advent calendar and have like 12 shadows to react to like that. So I did an unboxing, every single one. I swatched them all. I did a tutorial. It's like super in-depth. It's like 40 minutes long. It's ridiculous. But I was just so excited for this palette because I haven't been excited about makeup in a hot freaking minute. So yeah, it was a lot, but I feel like it was good. So this green has really nice payoff, and I like that it's not too much. I kind of like that it's a lighter shade. If you have issues getting into the inner corner, just look the opposite way and get your brush in there. So because we are going to be blending this out a little bit, I don't mind. I don't really mind like having a blown out green inner crease. So that's kind of like what our first layer is looking like. Here you can get a better idea because I have a window over here, so it always looks like there's like a bit of darkness in my inner corner, but it's just a shadow of my nose. So now we're gonna kind of merge the green, the brown, the purpley, the red together. And by dabbing that, that's how you can kind of get them to blend without looking muddy. Because if you're going to sit there and blend back and forth, you're going to get like maybe a little bit of a muddy color because we use red tones and purple. And the purple is very like red tony. I wouldn't say that it's a cool tone purple. So green and red cancel each other out. So you kind of have to be careful when layering with these shades. And then just to blend a little bit for the heck of it, to use another color, I'm going to use this butterscotch color. It looks very yellow on camera, but it's like a nice butterscotch looking color. Again, I'm like, man. So for this, I'm just going to barely hit the very outer edge to kind of smoke everything out together. And I'm going to pick this brush up with no product and just work on blending that too. Up and messy, nothing wrong with that. And I'm just going in with the first brown just to add a little bit more darkness to that outer corner. So you can see it's more about dabbing and swiping than it is more so blending. Now for the shimmers, I have a fun idea to do. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch some of these. So this is like what the green shimmer looks like. And this is what the purple pink shimmer looks like. I'm kind of like, do I want to dab a little bit of that? Maybe. This is what the in-between gold looks like. I'll show you on the palette here in a second. And then the lightest color we were definitely going to play with. So these are the colors that I swatched. This green one, and then this is like the pinky purpley one. This is an in-between gold, and then the lightest shimmer. help me figure out which ones I want to use before I place them. And I am a really big advocate and believer in swatching with your finger. It gives you the best payoff. With a brush, if you really want something to be like very, very subtle, I would recommend a brush. So just to show you, this is like a little Soho brush that I got in an Ipsy box like years ago. I don't know if they make it or not anymore, but I'm picking up that green and let's see if it's going to add darkness or not. So I think if you want really like sparse shimmer, again, like swiping is going to cause fallout. So dabbing is really the way to go here. So I'm using this sparingly because it is a little bit darker and normally you want the inner corner light and bright. So now what I'm going to do is go in with that middle gold color and kind of tap it in the middle here. And I'm going to go on top of the green. So it, wow. These shimmers do not disappoint, that's for sure. And I like am barely tapping it onto my skin. So for funsies, I am going to go in with a little bit of the pink for this outer corner because I'm obsessed with like putting shimmer everywhere. I remember when I first started on YouTube, there were a lot of shimmers that people would just like blend into their crease. And then it became very much like a rule that like you don't put shimmer in the crease. So now it's kind of like we do what we want. So I'm going in with the lightest color and just barely touching, because it's very intense, barely touching this to my brow bone just to have that high shine impact. I'm obsessed with this, and if for some reason you feel like maybe there's too much shimmer, and again, keep in mind I have studio light, so it's really, really reflecting here. It's not going to look this intense in person. If you ever kind of want to swipe like some shimmer away though, like in your outer corner, you can just go in with your brush and just kind of flick it away or add some more pigment on top. So that is what the top half is looking like. I'm going to catch up the other eye and we can get on to the bottom half of the lash line. All right, we are coming together. I think I'm going to focus a lot on the butterscotch color. If you see like something in the background that looks like Pepe Le Pew, I have my own Pepe Le Pew. I have my husky that is in here with me that keeps going back and forth from the window over to laying down in her spot. But anyways, I think I'm going to focus a lot on like the butterscotch color on the inner corner, a lot of the green, and then just on the very outer corner have the brown. Because I've been wanting a green eyeshadow for so long, I just feel like I need to focus on the green. So one thing that I like to do to help darken the lash line, because I really like a dark smoky lash line, I take a lip liner actually. I don't use this on my lips, I only use it on my eyes, but this is a NYX Suede matte lip liner in the shade Moonwalk, so it's like a dark purpley color. I forget who I saw do this tip. Like I think a couple videos back when I first started doing it, I knew and credited the person, but I forget who I saw doing this. But I'm like, it works because it gives something tacky because it is like a little bit tacky. So it gives something tacky for the eyeshadow to stick to, because normally I don't go all the way down with the eye primer. I just put too much on my lid, so I kind of spread it to my lower lash line. But as you can see, it settles into my under eye wrinkles. So that's why normally I don't like priming my lower lash line with the primer. And I like using this lip liner trick because, well, I already have the brown shadow on here. Normally I blend it out, but I almost forgot to do it. Because it will give a base for the shadow to stick to, but it won't crease in your under eyes. And I noticed that when I have like the primer on and it gets into my creases, even if I pat it out with the sponge before I go in with the powder, it still settles into my creases, and then like the eyeshadow gets into my creases. But I found using this lip liner or just not using like a primer at all on my lower lash line has been the way to go. So if you have some like little wrinkle dinkles, I just got flashbacks to high school. Some marching band. If you know, you know. I literally haven't thought about that in years. So yeah, if you have some wrinkle dinkles on your lower lash line and you have issues with creasing, whether that be with concealer or with eyeshadow, try this trick and let me know, or just like don't use primer. And when it comes to concealer, don't put it all the way up to your lashes. Like just kind of like have it focused where you need it, like in the area, and don't really bring it up to your lash line. So that's another reason why I like doing my eyes first, is because it stops me from bringing concealer all the way up to my lash line and just having so much product sitting on my lower lash line. So this side needs a wee bit more. Okay, now we're going to do like an opposite of working from dark to light. It is what it is. So what I'm going to do now is dip into the green and work on bringing that to probably the start of my iris. And when it comes to my lower lash line, I just like pick a spot and then I go back and forth and smudge. So again, it's not like too much like flicking around with the brush and getting shadow everywhere. It's very controlled movements. And I'm also going to hug this green just slightly under the brown. So then it's just kind of like a nice diffusion of green across the lower lash line, with the heaviest focus being on the center of my eye and then diffusing towards the inner corner and then diffusing and blending out the dark brown. By the way, if you're curious, this is a Morphe E36. And then I'll go over the other brushes that I used. I've just had these Morphe brushes for probably 6 years. They're inexpensive and they've lasted a long time. So another brush that I like a lot, this is a brush I first started out with. You can see it's like fluffy but not too fluffy. It fits my eye shape really good, like up in my crease, because I have a lot of real estate to work with. So this is a Morphe M433. And another favorite, like this is like my favorite blending brush. This is a Real Techniques 203. I know they've changed their brushes over the years, but I love the Real Technique brushes so much. They're probably some of my favorite affordable brushes that feel like high-end brushes. Just even the design of this one, how it's just not slanted, but like how it just comes to a point, and it's very weighty. So it's like easy to bounce around. It feels good in your hand. It has like these flat edges, so like it rests really nicely in your hand. You're very easy to control it because again, it has like that nice like weightiness and bounciness of like a pen. So I really recommend Real Techniques brushes. Again, I haven't purchased them in a couple of years because I haven't had the need to, but I really do like the ones that I purchased. So lastly, we're gonna dip into butterscotch. Can y'all hear that goose? And I just stabbed myself in the eye. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm here for this butterscotch in the very inner corner. I would probably sub this out for a different color in another palette, but we are strictly using this palette for this look. I would probably honestly use butterscotch, not so far up into the inner corner, because I feel like it's almost like a sickly look. Like it's not as like light of a transition color that I was hoping it would be. So I would probably just use this to like blend out the green and like work into the green, but not have in the very inner corner. So that's what I would change. So I'm bringing this and dragging whatever is left through the rest, and then I'm probably going to go back in with the green just so the green isn't lost. How many times have I said green? Y'all, if you're a subscriber, which I hope you are, because I like posting tutorials, makeup education, even though everyone goes to TikTok for it, I like longer form content. Clearly I talk a lot, but I've been doing a lot of get ready with me's. I have another one planned that I'm going to do that's like holiday makeup. And I've been talking about mental health a lot lately. I don't know, I've just been like drawn to share like what I've been going through, so you can watch the last couple of videos if you would like to see that. I started seeing a psychiatrist 5 months ago, and it's been a journey. My psychiatrist is not the best psychiatrist in the world. And he finally agreed for me to get tested for ADHD after 5 months of me begging him to. And big surprise, I have ADHD. So today is my first day of taking medication for ADHD. So it's just weird because like I feel I can't talk about it. I'm gonna cry. But yeah, I'm definitely oversharing. Like it feels like I just like drink a shit ton of coffee and then I just have like a lot of energy. So I feel like very introspective, but once I start talking and explaining, I feel like very like over talky. So this is looking a little bit wild right now, right? It's trust the process. I'm going back into the brown one last time, and this under eye situation will always look better once I get the rest of my base on. So if you have any questions about about mental health or like about the process or anything like that, leave it in the comments below. Or if you don't want to like have it be in the comments, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's the same handle on Instagram as it is on here. I need eyeliner. Hello. All of my eyeliners are drying out and I'm very upset about it. I'm not going to do winged liner. I am going to just do a thin line, but since I'm here like kind of talking about my other platforms and promoting myself, I'm going to start doing, I am a tarot reader. I love the mystical arts, divination. So if you're into that stuff, Moon Magic Spirit, MAGICK is my other platform. I have another channel here on YouTube. I'll link it up here. It's linked down below. But also on my Instagram, I'm going to start going live on Instagram, I think, and do like a collective oracle card reading because I'm getting a new deck, hopefully tomorrow. So, in the next couple of days, because I know I'm not going to have this video out before I go live for the first time, but it's something that I'm considering doing. So if you're interested in that, please go over and check out my Instagram. All my links are down below in the description box. There's a Koji link. It's basically like Linktree, but it will show you like where to connect with me on all platforms. So I picked the good liner that still has some juice to it. This is a House Labs. This is when they were on Amazon. So I have no idea if their eyeliner formula has changed. If you have purchased House Labs since they switched to Sephora, is their eyeliner still the same? Because I really like it. I also have my tried and true NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade Milk on my lower lash line, just because I like to have bigger, brighter eyes. So I like putting white on my lower lash line. So even if I'm doing like a more intense, smokier look, it doesn't close my eyes off too much, and I still have like that hint of like brightness without it being too much dark. I also never really liked black liner on my waterline or brown liner on my waterline, so that's my personal preference. But this is what the eyes are looking like. I'll be back with the rest of the base so we can finish this look off. Alright, so I have my base on, but I do want to put my blush on, so I'm going to be taking from the Nude Prism. This is the second blush palette that has come out, and I've only really used Pink Prince because I love that color. So I think I might try a little bit of Peachy and still probably dip into this because I just like mixing blushes. I love the first palette that came out, and I think I prefer that more than this one, but I'm trying to, like I said, Pink Prince has been my obsession, and normally I just go with that, but because of the color story on the eyes, I'm mixing in some of the peachy color, and it's more noticeable in person than it is on camera. That's for sure. It's just super pretty and subtle. I like that. So I'm just going to pile a little bit more of the peachy color so you can kind of see what that's looking like. Very, very pretty. And then I also like just still putting a little bit on the center of my nose. So I am going to come back when it's time to do lips because I'm sure I'll be using Lunar Beauty lips. Really quickly, to finish off the eyes, I need to add some inner corner shimmer, and I like doing this once I have my makeup on because, to be honest, you know, once you're getting like up in here with like concealer and foundation, it can kind of take away from that. So I think in the lower lash line, I'm going to start with this middle gold that we put on the center of the eye, and then for the very inner corner, we're going to go in with this like icy peachy pink color. Super excited. So a little bit goes a long way with shimmer. So I'm just going to press this right up in here, and that's going to help cover up some of the butterscotch color. Like when I first put it on, I was like, oh no, I look like almost sickly, but because we added concealer and setting powder and all of that, it kind of like took it away and helped diffuse it. So I don't hate it as much, but I do really like having a shimmery lower lash line as well. I'm just like shimmer everywhere. So I'm bringing that in like a fourth of the way, like so the start of the iris, basically where we put that butterscotch color. And then with shimmer, again, the process is to dab it on, especially if you have your base makeup on, because if you're swiping, you're gonna get glitter all over your face, and that's not what we want. So that is looking pretty good. And then now we're gonna go in with the icy highlight color for the very inner corner, and I am obsessed with this color. It is so pretty. Just pile it on. So there you can see it is just super light, super bright. It just really draws attention to the eye. I feel like if I had eyeshadow to hit pan on, it would probably be this one, because just from me using tiny little like dots of it on the inner corner, because it's just so freaking pretty. And then here, if you wanted to intensify the brow bone at all, I normally take whatever is left, and then again, very lightly and softly, barely any pressure, putting that into the brow bone just to intensify a wee bit more. And now it is time for mascara. I'm so excited with how this look is pulling together. I do have another thing to share with you about a base product that I use, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And I'll be back again once I get my mascara on. All right, y'all, we are finally on our final finish. Wow. All right, y'all, we are finally on our last steps. I do want to talk about the foundation that I'm wearing, so stay tuned for that. And also, if you have tips on styling bangs, please let me know. Or if you know of anyone that uploads content here on YouTube or on TikTok that styles their bangs, like, please, I need help. Here I go on an unnecessary rant about my bangs, but reality is that I went to bed with my hair wet and didn't style them, and just ran my air wrap like with a round brush attachment through them. After I finished this video, I got my butt up and straightened and styled them and added a little flick to the pieces that are hanging down, and it looked really cute, so I figured it out. But yeah, I just like having no effort hair. I just use the Love Bite lip liner by Morphe just a little bit, and I want to keep it light and breezy so we don't distract too much from the eyes. So I am taking a Lunar, it smells like strawberries. I am taking this Lunar Beauty lip gloss in the shade Divine. I forget which collection this released with, but with my teeny lips, I have to scrape most of the product off. This just has like a slight, you could see like there's like a slight coloration to it. My lips are quite pigmented to begin with, but I just like using a little bit of lip liner on the outer edge, and I just kind of like do that to blend it together and just have a nice little light gloss on. Keep it nice and easy, nice and comfy, nice and cozy for winter season. So let me know what you think of this look with this Lunar Beauty palette. I did want to play more with the colors. I know I had to use that green color. So today I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I used 9 eyeshadows, almost all of them. So we used 9 out of 12 eyeshadows for today's tutorial. I think that that's pretty good. I'm going to keep creating more looks, but I specifically wanted to use just the colors in this palette only for today's video. Soon enough, you will see that I recently purchased, this is an oldie, I finally purchased the Gemini palette by Milk Cosmetics because I've been on the hunt for green eyeshadows. So I'm excited to incorporate these greens with the green that's in here and like incorporate those shadows with the Lunar Beauty shadows. Super excited about it. I like Lunar Beauty, in case you guys can't tell. But I also have this Smoke Sessions palette that has some green, so I'm excited to finally play around. I feel like I have a good amount of green shadows to play around with some green looks. So that will be coming your way very soon. And I just wanted to share that I am using the House Labs Tri-Clone Skin Tech Foundation. I do have a first impression video on this. Again, I'm like pre-filming a lot of content, so I'm not sure the order that it's going up. So I think it should be up because I think it's the video I'm going to edit and upload right now. So it should be up. It should be up here if you want to see a wear test for it. But this is what it is looking like. I used a lesser amount of foundation than I did in that video, and it's looking pretty good. I did use a lot of powder because I do tend to get pretty shiny and greasy and oily throughout the day. This is not my shade, but I did blend it down to my neck today, just to live the fantasy. But I just wanted to test this again to make sure that I actually like it before I exchange it for a lighter shade. Sir, let me know your thoughts down below, and what kind of tutorials would you like to see from me coming up, or topics you would like to see me talk about in videos. Let me know. I really enjoyed having you here today. I had so much fun creating this video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you don't miss out. If you're not seeing my content and you are subscribed, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when my new videos are live. And again, thank you so much for your time and energy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.